What if you could generate social media posts with just one click of a button? I have been creating content for over a year, and I know it's a problem for a lot of people. They start posting something and then they burn out, they don't find motivation to continue. And I found the perfect way to create social media posts by clicking just one button. Today I want to show you some experiments which I've made and show you how I achieved it. But first, let's take a look at what type of posts I was able to generate with obviously with AI. So let's click this run button and see what we'll get. The best businesses solve a problem, and the best problem to solve are the ones you've experienced yourself. It sounds like a good starting point. I started my first business because I was tired of working for people who didn't appreciate me. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. Then I started my second business because I was tired of being the only woman in the room. Good. I started my third business because I was tired of seeing people work jobs they hated. I started my fourth business because I was tired of seeing people struggling with money. Okay, I hope you've got the point. And if I scroll up, you'll see posts which are in the same, which are written in the same manner. And I kind of like all of them. And I can generate as many as I want. How did I do it? But before we jump in, I want to briefly introduce myself. My name is Nadia. For the past 10 years, I worked as a software developer. And now, since last year, I help companies, small businesses, and solopreneurs to incorporate AI and automation into their workflow processes and save a lot of time and money. If you don't want to build those solutions by yourself and learn everything by yourself, you can reach out to me and I will help you to build this out for you. Now let's see how I have built that social media post creator. If you are already familiar a bit with OpenAI Playground and used it, then you might have understood that I'm using fine-tuning and OpenAI's Playground. Why did I use it? So let's first talk a bit about how people create social media content currently. They pick a couple of their best performing posts or templates, and then they give their own ideas and ask Claude or GPT to generate content similar to those examples. However, this doesn't always work because people ask to pick up tone and style from those samples, but tone and style is not everything. And it's hard to explain to a language model what exactly you want to have in your final post from your results. And I've been researching what would be the best approach to do it. And after that, I knew about fine-tuning for OpenAI. And when I started reading about it, let's take a look at this documentation for OpenAI. If you look at this is an official web page from OpenAI, and they say that common use case for fine-tuning is setting the style, tone, format, and other aspects of text. High-level way to think about these cases is when it's easier to show, not tell. And I believe that showing our GPT model how the best performing LinkedIn posts look like, and if especially we pick only one creator and or we train a model on our own best performing posts, that would give GPT the whole idea of how you want to, what you expect from it. Instead of trying to say it, let's write this post or giving it some examples, to me, this is a perfect way. So I watched a lot of videos and unfortunately I couldn't find many experiments. I will share some of them with you in the comment section. Maybe you will watch it and also find some of those ideas useful, but I don't think that you have a lot of time to do your own research. So what I did, first we need to, in order to fine-tune our model and generate posts, we need to gather our data. I shared a post before on how I scrape and get 50 latest posts from any content creator, any creator on LinkedIn. And you can find this under my profile. It is in the featured section. So after that, I found another way to get more than 50 latest posts, and I wanted to get more because you can fine-tune a model on like 10 to 50 posts. Let's see, 50. Yeah, we recommend starting with 50 demonstrations. And this is an official recommendation from OpenAI to use 50 samples of our data. But honestly, when I trained the model on 50 samples, I wasn't quite satisfied. And I decided that the more examples would be beneficial. And I scraped something like 150 or 200 posts from one of the creators, and I can tell you who this creator is. It's Cody. If you haven't guessed yet by the style and you don't this creator, she is quite popular, so she has a lot of followers and her posts usually perform very well. If you pay attention to what type of posts perform well on LinkedIn, you might notice that the posts with the highest engagement are those related to motivation, leadership, life lessons. And you can clearly see, if you know a little bit about this lady, you can clearly see that my fine-tuned model produced content based on her experience. Like it got some of the ideas of how she writes. Yeah, this is the first of all, it got the style and format right. If we look here, she frequently uses lists, numbers, those arrows, and at the end, she usually ends it with like, don't, you're seriously missing out, here it is. And this is exactly what the fine-tuned model tried to replicate. So it has numbered lists, if no, not this one, but I made quite some other experiments on her, and frequently you'll see those arrows, but we'll get back to those other examples. How do you train your model? You get those like 50 or more examples. What I did after that, so my tool, it gave me a result in the CSV format, and then I use this rows.com for uploading the results. Okay, I think this one is the right one. And here, does it tell me how many? It should be 150 or something like that. And after that, you have to clean your data a little bit. So in my scraping tool, I also transcribe all the videos and images and extract text from those images. But for example, the creators usually duplicate what they write on the images and what they write in the body of the post. And here, for example, it would be harder. And this is, for example, a type of post that is hard to train on because it has a quote and then it has the main body. If you are familiar with how people write and recommend writing posts on LinkedIn, your first two lines are the hook and it should grab attention. In case with this post, it is the quote which grabs users' attention. It's not the hook. What I did with Cody, I first of all, I used another scraping tool which didn't transcribe videos and didn't extract text from images. So I only picked, and luckily there were enough posts with only the body there. And I went through all of them. I ordered them by number of, by engagement, total reactions count. And then I just made sure that all of those posts look well and that they are not. So I removed some outliers. This is what you need to do as well, because if some posts don't have enough information, like this one with the quote, then what would we have? We would have only the first line, and it doesn't contain a lot of information about what this post is about, or like any purpose of this post. We don't want to have those records in our training set. And yeah, oops, not the right one. Here is the right one. And I like rows.com because you can see the formatting here. It doesn't remove formatting. You can still review it and preview it in the same way you would see it on LinkedIn. What do we do after that? After that, we need to prepare a training set for our fine-tuning. How it looks. If you go to this page, you would be able to see the format. We need to have JSON-L file. By the way, you don't need to worry about it too much because now I will show you how to do it. But basically, what we have in our playground and how GPT models work, you usually have a system message. This is when you use ChatGPT, you don't have a system message, or you can have custom instructions, and system message is something that OpenAI defines for you. But when you use your own model and use their playground, then you have a system message. It is being set only once, and then you have your typical user and assistant messages. So user is what you say, and assistant is what GPT, your model, replies. Here, in this case, I use this system prompt, and you see, I copy not only tone, style, and voice, but also personality, perplexity, and burstiness. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Those two are also modifiers to the text, and they identify how your text would sound. So I thought that I found it while researching how writers fine-tune OpenAI models, and it seems to be a good addition to the prompts. Now, after we gathered our posts, we need to format them in a proper way. We can do it right here inside roles.com. I created a new spreadsheet for it. And then I put the text column. Yeah, I basically copied that. And what did I do? I think I removed everything which I don't need. And then I added 2 columns on the left side. And you need the first column to be system. This would be our system message. Second is user message. And third one is our text. The idea behind it that we would set this system message to our OpenAI model, then user is what we say, and this is the type of text our model would give us back. And after you do it, you can go here and download this as CSV. And now one interesting tool which I found, it is Novel Crafter. This is the tool for professional writers to train their models and use AI to write their books. And it has this AI fine-tuned dataset editor, which is super useful for our use case as well. You choose your file after you have scraped the data and cleaned this data manually. You choose this CSV file with the system, assistant, user, and assistant message. And by default, it will load all your samples. I can scroll there, and here are the posts, the text from the scraped posts. And here I set this system message. Then I clicked set for all, and now it was applied to every record in our dataset. What would you usually set inside user message? Well, it depends, and I've been searching for how other people use user message. I didn't find any good example. However, I found one YouTube video where a person shared how he tried to also copy his style and tone, and in his experiments, it turned out that the best performance he got when user message was empty. And the idea behind it was that when you give your language model only the description of like respond in writing style and tone of a person and give it the output, then your model learns better. So it tries to connect only those style, voice, personality, whatever you set in your system message with the output. And without user message, it performed well. So I decided to do the same experiment, and I didn't set any user message here. After you do it, you download JSON-L file, and then we need just one step. Here in OpenAI Playground, we have fine-tuning. And here in fine-tuning, click create, then select base model. I selected the latest one, GPT 3.5. GPT-4o is not available for everyone, and you need to ask for the access. I don't have the access, and maybe I will ask for it later. But for now, I read that 3.5 performs as well as GPT-4 once fine-tuned. So when you pick this GPT 3.5 Turbo, then you upload that JSON-L file here, and validation data, we don't have it and don't need it. Set any name for your fine-tune, and then the rest is just leave it as is. They will be set by default, and after your model is fine-tuned, you'll get an email. In this case, here is the example of my latest experiment with posts from Cody. And then again, you go to your playground to chat, and here you pick the model. OpenAI will create not only the final one, but also some models, some snapshots from in between. And you can try different ones. So I use the final model. And here again, I put the same system prompt, which I used in Novel Crafter as a system message. Oops. And then I just say go. And this way it creates posts based on its knowledge base, and based on, I guess, it took the knowledge from the post. It understood that Cody has some businesses. She has business experience that she writes about, motivation about starting a business, and it created all those posts based on her previous experience, personality, and other posts which she has written or someone has written for her. And now you can have a lot of them. I experimented also with setting different, this one again with just go. It was funny that it performed that well. A couple of words about temperature. You'll see temperature here. I haven't found what would work the best. So for the first examples which I showed you, the temperature was around 0.4. I read that people set it somewhere from 0.5 to 0.7, and it works well for them. However, I found that when I set on the temperature to 1, it gives me very good results as well. And if you set your token numbers quite low, then your posts might not complete, and then just write continue, and you will get the rest of the post. And here is, and here I tried to rewrite my previous post in style of Cody. However, what I found that model completely ignored what I asked it to do, and I guess it still picks some details from my user message, but it doesn't just rewrite the post. So if you decide to repeat my experiment, then I would recommend during the training process set any user message here. For example, if this post is about, let's say, starting a business, then write here that some of the details for this post, and I'm going to experiment with it a little bit more in the future. But for now, honestly, I know that people struggle with content ideas, and just what I get straight from the model is already very good. And let's take a look just at this post. I will, I don't know what to do with my life. I hear this a lot. I think it's a lie. And this is so, like, it's so funny to read what it produces, because I think it is very much in the style and tone of Cody. And if I were to see this post from her on my feed, I will definitely stop scrolling and read through it. And here is another example with another temperature. And again, GPT came up with a very smart business idea. This is how I fine-tuned GPT 3.5 on posts, on the best performing posts from Cody, and you have seen the results. Let me know what you think about the quality of the output from ChatGPT. I think this is the best way to create social media content which I have found so far. If you like it and dare to try it for yourself, then obviously keep me updated about your successes and experiments. By the way, the cost to train this model was around $3 or something like that. It's not costly. And I watched a video from two women who are novel writers, and they trained the model on their own work. And after that, they calculated how much it costs to create not a novel, but just a huge chunk of text based on their novel, and they were laughing because it was like 12 cents for, let's say, 50 pages. That's just ridiculous. And obviously, if you have a bunch of content already, a bunch of your previous work, then it would make sense to train GPT on your style and save your time. If you want me to help you with your project ideas or me to implement your AI solutions, don't hesitate and write me a message on LinkedIn. I will see you there.